Alive. So it says, hmm, I'm back for, I don't know, I've been live the last, I've been going live quite a bit. I'm having a good time. Why not? Okay. Excuse me. So it did the reveal this morning, and then I saw my glitch that I had done sitting there and thought, let's do a die over and a die under experiment. So let's. I have to remember when I start doing this glitch that when I fold it, it ends up being down here in the corner. Even after the first two fold, it's weird. So I have to like put it up here. That way it kind of stays in camera. Mm, okay. Every time I every time I go live, I start wanting to burp for some reason. Well, I do drink a lot of soda. I need to start drinking a lot of water instead. So we were going to do the same glitch. I usually do when I do glitches. I usually use colors that are contrast. You know, they don't really go good together, and everything kind of sticks out. And colors that split. The bronze splits a little bit. The teal and the teal and the jade, not quite so much. But I do have plenty of each color because, like I said, they're my go-to colors. So I got a pound of each sitting here, or taped up. I haven't got into yet. I don't think I've even gotten into this bronze yet, which I'm getting ready to. So let's do an experiment. Uh, Die under and die over. I, I had my shirt soaking in soda ash for, I'd say, oh, hour and a half, something like that. So I'm going to use Gildan Ultra Cotton. They're just a little bit heavier than this. So I hope that I get some nice, I'll be able to get some nice pulls on it. I use my Panda spin dryer now. Usually when I in my work, only do, I'll only spin it out for 45 seconds to a minute. But we're going to, I spun it out I spun it out 2 times. So it spun for about 10 minutes total. So the shirts are damp, but definitely closer to dry. This one I kind of got ready, did for the most part. I like to try to get my bottom square. So I'm going to eyeball this part. You can tell where I spun it out. It'll cut through there. And cut through there. Just draw a line. Just to try to stay straight up through there. Okay. Just sorry if I talk real low and quiet and stuff. I wear these headphones and I kind of feel like I don't need to talk real loud. I talked to my mom just earlier and I had my headphones on. She's like, "Why are?" She said, are you bad or something?" I was like, "No." She's like, "You always sound so quiet when you're on the phone," and that's why I like to get the bottom of my shirt as square as I can. And so I just kind of, I don't know how everybody else does glitches. I've kind of done the same thing every time. Probably like to run this up, get this tag up out of it. Just kind of get some air underneath it. And I'll just try to, I'll work this up and I'll try to keep this line straight up, all the way up if I can. So sometimes easier said than done. Oh, that's right. Hold up. I need to move this up because it'll be at the bottom of my table if I don't. So I'm just going to kind of concentrate on keeping this line straight. At least as straight as I can. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have seen this fold or not. Sorry if my head's in the way. I don't think it is. I'm basically making like shutters or blinds, you know. Let me see. I haven't even. Hey, Ashton, Jose Lopez, how you doing? Maggie Brewer. I'm Jose. I'm doing tie dyes, man. Um, so yeah, there's a lot. There's some new names in here. So thanks for stopping in. Really, I know it'll probably be kind of boring to you, but these are just different tie dyes. This is just a style tie dye that I'm doing, and sorry if it's off the screen for just a minute because I once I start working it up, it's going to kind of get into the screen. At least that's the plan. And this is called a glitch fold, which is this shirt right here. So I want to do a dye over the ice and dye under the ice, and do a kind of experiment and see what'll happen here. I'll do two different shirts. Won't take long to fold them up. Okay, so I go up like that, makes it kind of look like lines. I'll use a PVC pipe to kind of make my lines crisp. And then I can change out my ruler. I don't need that big of a ruler now. And I'll do the same thing going this way. It's Happy New Year, definitely. That's why I had to push my shirt up because it likes to. It would end up down here in the corner of my table if I didn't. I'll just do one more right there. Okay. So just like that. So this looks like a little tiny shirt, huh? It was an extra large and went to what looks like a little baby shirt. All right, now center this up a little bit, like so. So that's how I get this little square look. Now I need to pleat this like that. Keep my pleat going all the way across, as best as I can anyway. And again, right there. Pull that up. I can beam that right there. And that up right there. Like so. And then that's that for the tying of it. See what's happening here. Okay. I need to grab my sinew here. This is artificial deer sinew. make us start with a little, not that fold on the other side. Start with a small one there on the end. That'll make a nice crisp line right there. Go about a half a finger. There we go. Right there. Pull until it almost breaks. Sometimes it will. And do the same here. That might break. Go around 2 more times. Okay. That's a pretty good pull for the middle there. There we go. Move that down a little. Move this down some. Just take it off. Boring, isn't it? There, and then I'll put a like so. Let me find my scissors here. And that's one glitch fold. I need to do one more. I know you're like, oh, but what the hell is this? The hell am I watching? I need to do this off. I'm gonna do another one. Huh? So there's one. I don't need this long string. Let me grab that other shirt. This shouldn't be too long a video. I didn't take, it wasn't even 10 minutes, was it? 10 minutes maybe? Just a second, sorry about that. I have to flip it inside out. And this was right with the other shirt. Spun out right with it. It spun out for about 10 minutes total. And that's what I want to do is grab it out of the spin, out of the spinner. Leaf, that's okay. How you doing? Um, yeah, you were here this morning. I'm doing the glitch experiment. One die under and one die over with my kind of like beachy color. And I spun this up twice in this panda spin dryer. Do you have a panda spin dryer yet? They're nice. I mean, I don't know if I would consider it like a game changer or anything. I was using my washing machine before and was getting pretty rad results too then too. But these are here's the first one that I just did, and so I'll do one die under, one die over, and I'll use teal, blue, jade green, and bronze. Bronze has like my sandy part. The jade green is more like the shallow parts of the the shoreline, and then the teal blue will be more like the deeper parts. Okay. Do you do glitches, Leaf? Um, I always thought they were fun to do. A lot of people stress over the third fold. I just don't overthink it. But I like pleating, so it doesn't bother me at all. Okay, so the bottom's straight and flat the way I like it. I'm going to draw a line just to try to keep that line straight. I'm just going to draw imaginary where I think it would be at the top. What center would be. I hear my cat's fighting upstairs. I have a friend that could stop by, but that could be her. I don't know. So the shirt's not like dry by any means, but it's it's damp enough to where I can work with it. Your cats fight all the time. They do. Brother and sister. They have to wrestle. They have to wrestle. Okay. So I'll use my first um, the roller that I use. I just like to get some air under it. Actually, I need to draw my line first. What I'm doing too. I got ahead of myself there. All right. There's that. That out because sometimes it'll get stuck at the end. And I can get a little air under it. And I'll try my best to keep that line straight. Sometimes it doesn't want to. Yeah, I started doing it because sometimes I started drawing that line because sometimes I felt like I was veering off, you know. And sometimes I still kind of do. So I'm just kind of guessing. Uh, I'm going up. I've never really, uh, I've never really measured it. And you can tell like I'm hitting pretty, you know, even on the shirt. The first one wasn't. I didn't hit it as even, but I think it would be all right. You know? And I just kind of guess it's not enough. Sometimes you just have to pull it out. Right there. Start over. I just heard someone do a flip up there. Okay. That's it. Too much. I'll pull it down a little. There we go. See? We've got one more. That's why I like to pull that tag out just like that, because sometimes it will pull the everything kind of out of whack. Just like that. Okay. I can pull this over a little bit so I can iron it out with my PVC pipe here. And I have to watch that bracelet there. There we go. Some people will iron their pleats in between. That's fine. If your shirt's damp, you'd probably want to you'd want to drop your you might want to drop your temperature a little bit on your iron. You would get some really crisp lines. I feel like this is just as um, I feel like this just helps me since it's damp. You know what I mean? I can get it there and press down on it pretty good. Like okay, and then I can use. I don't need this long. um, ruler anymore. Somebody in the process of ice dyeing, and I should have came down and now it's this one. It's a centering, has a centering ruler. So, I could put it where I think center would be, and then it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, working its way out. There's, I mean, 1/16 of an inch to the left. Be all right. Okay, so I'm just going to do one fold here. Do this up, and you can pull your ruler up and push down and get everything nice, especially down on this edge that you're going to fold in, and push everything down to the ruler, and then just pull down, and then move up, and do the same thing. Pull your ruler up to a 90 degree, and fold over. I'll do a little bigger of a fold on the sleeve because I don't really mind. Go up there, pull up. That might be a little far out, but that'll be all right. Okay, and just keep doing the same thing. Lift up just a little bit on your roller, and you can turn it up to a 90 degree angle, and do the bottom edge down by the roller, and then pull flip it over. Go up there. Just keep doing the same thing. And I'll get right at the edge. I hate when it does that, but sometimes you just have to take what comes your way, you know? What can you do? Go forward. You got that. All right. Take my PVC pipe, do the same thing. And it'll kind of spread out when you do this, but you can just push it right back together. Leaf, I got some more gutter last night. I was at my buddy's house. You could use a rolling pin, sure, absolutely. No reason why you couldn't. I just had this PVC pipe, and it worked just fine. I use this for shibori. It's the shibori where I used to do them when I first started tie dyeing. They're really fun to do. You would keep your shirt flat like the way we started, and roll it up. It's probably one of the first roll things. People have been rolling shirts forever. I mean, shibori have been around forever. People have been rolling shirts forever. So I would start like at the bottom and roll it up, and then put rubber bands around it, and then push everything together, and then dye. I would dye yellow around it, let it sit for a minute, kind of spin it and let it sit for a minute. And this was with, I think I used liquid dye, and then did orange, let it sit for a minute, and then did red. And then when you open it up, it would look like flames. It was really cool looking. I have to try one of those again. It's been a long time. That's why I have this pipe, I think. All right, so now we'll pleat it. No, no worries. Is this in the center enough? Yeah. Okay. I was like, man, that line looks really crooked, but I guess it's really not. It's just my shirt. Okay, so just do I'm doing kind of big pleats because of the smaller the pleats, like Crazy Fingers this morning said when I was analyzing the example shirt for this. You have a lot of pleats. If you have a lot of pleats, the more pleats you have, especially in the center, your line's going to be noticeable, and it's going to look kind of blown out. You know what I mean? So I just start with my thumbs at the very bottom corner and just do a kind of a big pleat. That pleat is 2 inches tall, so it's kind of a big pleat. And then just do another big pleat right here. And that other shirt, I probably didn't do as big of a pleat because I don't know. I might have. Let's see. That's supposed to go like that. Goes like that. Do a pleat there. Pleat there. Now that will come together. Right there. So let me get this one has the pleats are a little bit bigger, I think. I was nervous when I came one. I'm always nervous. My friend was thinking about flipping over. She's been sat and on a live before. She really liked it. She had fun. I told her I was going to get live this evening. And she had family over. She makes cheeseburgers every New Year's Day. The family, she has a huge family. I went to her Halloween party and she had 45 people there, and it was just, that wasn't, she said that doesn't even really cover, that didn't cover the size of her family. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Let's light this candle, man. I usually light this candle up. Work my way around it so as to not get burnt. I should have went, ow. Me and my brother was moving a chair for my mom, and he was like, careful, there could be mice in it. And she was like, oh. And we moved it up to her, from her, like, it was a carport and it was like a little family room. We moved it up to her living room. And as soon as we sat it down, my brother started dancing around that thing, acting like mice were coming out. And that was hilarious. My mom flipped out. I don't know why I'm saying that, but man, that was hilarious. Okay, so that, now I just need to smooth it up. Okay. Okay. Pull that for this for these first couple aren't so bad. You start getting up to where it's thick. I I don't really use my hi Anne Marie. I usually don't measure this stuff out. And sorry if my hat's in the way. I'm just not noticing that. I just use it from my knuckle up. I just kind of gauge it and then look at where my finger was. When I do my first one, I pull to where I'm making just a small indentation and I'm not pulling hard. It's just a soft pull. And it's easy for me to be able to stack my other two. And I start with three and then wrap it two more times. And what I do is I pull fast and I feel like it kind of, they all kind of cinch. Now, not always, but sometimes. And I get it up here kind of close, put my hand over top of it and pull. And you can feel like, you'll feel it cinch, but you can also feel like if you pull until it starts to feel a couple threads crack, and then I can go over two more times and pull it. I haven't had one break on me in a while. I feel like this shirt could be the one. I don't know why, but sorry, I know my head was in the way there. So, here's where the shirt starts getting thick. So pull, it's where I can make a little indentation. Stack it as best as I can. That way I can try to, how I was saying earlier, Leaf, I like to have just one thick line, or not thick line, one thin line. It'd be really nice to be able to accomplish that. So pull that up kind of close and then I'll pull fast. And I felt it kind of, it got tight. Yeah. Okay. The dye over the ice will be pretty easy. All right, fast. There we go. That felt good through the middle. Don't break. So it's almost like Geo, but even harder. So it's so tight around that. It doesn't surprise me that you get those blown out looks. You know what I mean? I mean that is super tight and very hard to saturate. You'd think. I don't know. Maybe I'm pulling too hard sometimes. Mhm. We'll see. Hopefully they come out good. Yeah. I don't know why I felt like I had to put my hand there. Okay, kind of fast. Oh, it's still going. That was a good one. Go two more times. Oh, I don't break. So I'd say it's probably going to be exact. It's got the exact height and everything. I was like, this isn't going to take very long, but sometimes this dye placement can take a while. The good thing is, I think most of this dye is easy to work with, because I don't think it's real clumpy. Okay, so I'll stack that good, straight and fast. Oh yeah, I had that tags in there. Have I ever punched myself in the gut? Absolutely. It friggin' hurts, man. Friggin' hurts. Now, it looks like I'm pulling that lefty. Now I'm pulling right-handed. Most see I'm ambidextrous, so a lot of things I do left-handed, but a lot of things I do right-handed too, and this is one of them. Pulling Sanu is right-handed. I throw right-handed, but I eat left-handed, left-handed. I hate it sometimes. Pull fast. And we'll make a little nub there. I'll just have to, oh, I didn't hit it. Well, I'll show you how let's see, do I have another one with somebody on it? I don't. Well, I'll show you how I can end that right there. Okay. And I'll show you how I load my Sanu up. It doesn't take a minute. Not even. Not even. Okay. And this is from Boredom with Jen. You guys gotta check it out, man. I mean, this stuff. It's she makes really good stuff. I can't say any nicer things about her. And these scissors fit into the slot right there. I just use my. I hope it's ready. It is. I just use my cordless drill, and it's just a little like hexagonal bit that fits into like a DeWalt end, and I just pull it up. And I don't put a whole bunch on there, because if it breaks, I don't want to have to sit there and try to find it down into the halfway down in it. You know what I mean? So it's easy to fill. So that's what I do. Boredom with Jen. Shopboredomwithjen.com, I believe it is, but in Google search or whatnot, you can just type in Boredom with Jen. I can always put a link in my description box, and I'll do that because these are really nice. And they cut this one came with 3 of these pleating tools. And at first I was like, how do you even use these? And the more I used it, I was like, daggone, man, it's easy. It was like when you're doing pleats, you can use them like how you would hold a pencil or a fork or whatnot, and actually like gather pleats. If this one's kind of shorter than this one, then you can kind of steal from this one a little bit and make them all level. It works really good, and these fit in that. So it was a really good design, and this is easy to change out. Put a new one in. Yeah, it's like black and purple. Really cool, man. I have quite a bit of them. I have ones that are customized. Most of them are customized. Say Rad Dyes or Kelly. Kelly was tie-dyeing quite a bit at the time, and she had a couple with her name on it and stuff. So pretty cool. And then I just make another scent knot here. I'll make it kind of tall so I can that side. Like that. Just like where I ended. That wasn't too bad. Plus, I was sitting there talking for a minute. And then I can just pick right back up. So I had to, just this little nubbin on you. I can just go two on it. Like that. And I'll go over one more time. Pull kind of easy. And it's all waxed, so it seats on itself. I've never really had them come undone. Even waiting, she's eagerly waiting. Repoli and Caddy Jen said they've been 2 weeks now in -30. Yes, when they're when they're like that, could you imagine trying to get out? Yeah, at -30, your car's not even starting. You know, I mean, it's they did have a Jeep. Because I remember she was making rubber duckies for her Jeep. But I mean, you'd have to have a special kind of vehicle to be up there starting it at 30 below. And I love Bird John. They're great people. Okay, so this is um, the glitches. Line up good. So it's uh, so what I do is if I need to, the one that I'm going to do die, let me go ahead and do it. Just contain some of this stuff. That way it doesn't, it gets dye. Probably got these little rubber bands, and I don't know where she got these. I saw like hair rubber bands that were similar to it. But no, if you pour boiling water over it, they do break. They melt like nothing. So I'll make this one my dye under the ice, since I'm kind of getting it all tagged up and ready to go. Okay, so that's kind of contained. That will be my dye under, and this will be my dye over, and then there's just a couple that I want to do there. That's it. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And this is lemon candle, by the way. This candle that I always have up here. I love lemon. I go to this one place in town and get the Italian lemon cake. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, I'll put my tools up here. I have to pick Patty up, but I figure with it being the first, she's going to be there. We go to 9 o'clock. It's 7:22 now, so it should be golden here. Okay, so I have my dye. Let me get my dye station here. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Jade green, teal blue, bronze. Take a drink of soda pop here. Okay, so let's do, this is the dye over ice. This is the dye under ice, right? This is the dye under ice. This is the dye over ice because I have a bunch. This is contained. So what I will do is bring my dye station over there, and I'll make sure that it's wiped off. And I always have to, I never, this is the only time I ever do this. And I'll turn it this way so you can see it right side up. Okay. Yeah, they are for braces, but they're little, they're like 3 times the size. Leaf. I used to have braces when I was a kid, and they were a little bit smaller. Those are like 2 or 3 times. They're they probably are for hair. You know, they probably are, but I'm not 100%. Okay, so make sure I don't have any bronze open. I do. And I even wrote on there go light because bronze will and can overtake your project. So some of these dyes I was writing, um, like if they hit hard or hit light, you know, so then I would know that I could go a little heavier with them or a little lighter, you know. So I'm going to do it in diagonals like this and just work my way over. We'll just do the way it is right now: jade green, teal blue, and bronze. All right. And I'll try to keep my head and all that stuff out of the way. And I need to get 3 spoons because I don't want to have to clean a spoon between each one. So jade green looks nice and easy to deal with. Teal blue is the same way, and bronze is also, I believe. So I just use these clear picnic spoons. The dye seems to fall off of it real nice. I have some white ones that I just get at like Kroger or the grocery store, and the dye doesn't seem to fall off as well. Okay. And I have to be careful with my dye here because I don't want to hit it. Okay. So teal or jade green, and I have to go kind of heavy with it. So this is where I have a lot of this is where I have a lot of fall off. So nice and easy to work with. Mm, make that not as much of an angle there. And I've already pulverized my ice and all that too. I'll keep that. I'll keep my dye over here for now. And I'd like to keep a space. So I know where to go. They each go. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I usually when I place when I first start placing my dye in my new spot, I start in the middle of where I would because the way this is all un, uneven, it'll fall over that dye. Now this dye is going to move and wick around anyway, so okay. And then bronze. And let's go. You saw how that shirt was? You see how the bronze took over? I'm going to try to keep it up out of the dye, but enough for you to see it. You see how there's a lot of bronze and the blue and that turquoise is actually the jade green. Um, but do you see how the bronze could take over? Let's go a little thinner on the bronze, and we'll remember to do that on the dye over too, because it does. It will. It will take over. Now this stuff's a little chalkier, but it's not as bad as some are. So I'm going to start in the middle of my line, kind of close to the end, I guess, and work my way in because we're going to be easy with this bronze. And sometimes I'll just make it like a little dollop there and then push it in. See that? I got to try to remember to keep my head up out of the way, but I do need to see and make sure you get on this back side too. It's there. Okay. Now we'll go back to the jade green. Makes sense. So see how you can keep it to where it's a lot less likely. It's going to happen. See, that's right. It's real close to happening right there where that wants to fall over into the bronze. That helps. And I don't know if you can go to, I mean, I said that last year. I don't know if you can go too heavy, but you want to go heavy with these dyes because that is thick and tight. I pulled that sinew really tight. Okay, so then teal blue, and the teal blue looks green, and the jade green looks blue. Like that. So I'll make a little bit right there. I was like holding my breath there. Make a little mountain right there and push it down into the valley right there. Bam. I like that. Okay. I'm going to grab my bronze and be careful, like with your dye. Make sure you get good holds on it, you know, and watch going over your work, like me taking my spoon and dragging it over this work. I don't want to be doing that. You know what I mean? So this is my bronze, and I want to go light. And I have to say this out loud, or I'll forget. So I'm going to go a little closer than what I usually, you know, and work my way in. And some might fall over. So I'll make a little mountain of it right here and see if I can't push it over. See it, a little bit of it fell in, but on this edge, but you know. So I'll add a little bit more, especially right there like that. And then I can push it in right there. Okay. And then when I add my dye or my ice, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's really fast. Okay, I mean, where are we? More durable, tiny elastic for kids, cross section for bracelet limbs. Yes, yes. Eric Snyder, how you doing, man? Are you just the other? This shirt. When all this is done, I'll show you the shirt that I was dyeing the other night, and you were like, "Man, that's a lot of dye." That that stuck in my head for days after that. I was like, man, I bet you I used too much dye. I don't know if you saw the reveal of it. It's not, it's not. It actually looks, um, let me double check this because I was talking. I went from bronze and I go back over to jade. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It looks exactly like that other shirt. So this jade green's really easy to work with. It's not not clumpy. But yeah, it didn't come out too bad, man. I now see how many of these come. Maybe I should widen it out because my dye over ice. I don't think there's as many bands. You know, I seem to do, but I don't want to. I don't want to overdo it now. You know what I mean? Okay. So now I'm up to my teal blue. It's getting low, but I have another pound of it. I can take some. Get that back over there. That angle a little bit. No, that's all rolling down right there. I can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and push some in there while I don't have a lot of dice sitting on top there, and then kind of work and and add to it. Okay. All right, and then I need to go at the end band of um, bronze. Make sure that doesn't fall off there. I've been sitting here seeing how careful we need to be with our dye. Now some of that green, that teal, actually teal blue, because the blue's green and green's blue. Some of that teal blue spread over there, but I think this bronze will be okay with it. So not real wide. I don't want it to overtake everything. And sometimes you can go ahead and like lay your spoon where you need it and just kind of tap it instead of letting it. It doesn't fall. It doesn't have far to fall. You know what I mean? Okay, let's call that. I need to move these over here now, or I'll set them off. Okay, make sure I'm back on the teal green or jade green. Okay, I don't need that much dye. The more dye you have on your spoon, of course, you're going to take the chance of. Now I have to be careful that because that's kind of it's steep right there. It's going into the bronze where it's kind of steep, so I want to be careful not to. So it's easy to do because that's steep right there. So I'll mound it up right there, and then use my spoon and maybe try to push it in without it. Maybe it'll meet. Yeah, like that. Now I can fill that gap in a little better right there and add more dye. I'm going to widen that out just a little bit. Okay. Uh, Easy to. So here's where you have to be kind of precise with your die, you know what I mean? So just put your spoon where you need it and kind of sit it down there. And then I think you're less likely to, because it's not fall, it doesn't have fall, it has no, really nowhere to fall. That little piece went over there. I'm going to try to push it back over. I think it worked. Make sure I don't kick the legs of my table. Okay. Widen that out a little bit. One, two, three. I'm going to have 4 bands. No, I got to watch what I'm doing when I start talking. I need to do a thin line of this. See, I have to say everything out loud, man. I'll forget. Short-term memory loss. Now that green's mound up there pretty good, so this should be able to fall right there where it needs to. And push it right in. There. Keep my bronze thin. I'm going to have to remember that with my... I'll try to do the same width, I guess. Happy New Year, Mary. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so I go back to the jade green. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and push that where I need it to go. Like that. All right, makes sense. Like that. It goes there. I'm going to have maybe a little nub here of bronze. Colorful people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things of bronze, and I ended my segments with bronze. So I ended with it perfectly. I'll try to do the same. Let's try to do the same with the die. Uh, okay, those edges look good. Now this is going to take a lot of dye or a lot of ice. Okay, when I pick this up and move it, it looks pretty. It'll look pretty good. Okay, so this is what I do. I'll show you my setup. Let me get this ready. That's about perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rack this. I'm going to use my gutter and rack it so that I don't have to make any ice barriers. I hate making ice barriers. So I'd like to use the big ones on the ends. I have 2 different size clothespins in here. I'm going to get it center, for the most part. Be as careful as I can, like so. Let that fall down in it. I'm going to put these back. Move this out of the way. and I'll set that to the side for now. Okay, I'm going to try to be extremely careful with this. And I'll set it right here because my other gutter is right there. Okay, so let me grab my other gutter. So this is going to be my setup. I have two containers. I don't know what size they are. And I'll move my die back here. And this is how I've been doing my glitches for a little while. So I have a container and I put a brick in it. And I have two of them, like so. Okay. Then I'll use my gutter. My ice can do what it needs to do. I need to move this. This brick would actually be over here. That one's right there. And now it's level. It can do whatever it wants to do. It usually just goes down one side. And because, it takes next to no angle for water to flow. Um, and I use the clothespins and that little thing so I don't have to make um, uh, an ice barrier with cardboard. I hate cardboard. It's nails on the chalkboard to me. I don't know what it is, but I need to get another rack system here. And I just cut these out of these little box, little carriers, kind of like this, but like that. And I just cut them out. They were at the dollar store. And yeah, like that. So the water can flow through. I'm not getting muck lines, and the water can flow through. I don't have to make an ice barrier. I can add as much ice as I need to because I need quite a bit of ice. That's thick. So I need as much ice as I can. Now, sometimes these ends down here, there's not much to them, and they'll get, you can use too much ice and take all your dye, and not take all your dye out, but it'll mute it. And that's what happens on these ends. These ends a lot of times get muted on me. Let's see if we can, this one's not near as bad. And it's usually these sleeves, the tips get muted because it's not thick. This is, you know, and getting white down in there is not, or keeping the white out of that is not easy. All right, so let me go ahead. This is going to be my dye over the ice. And I'll go ahead and make a tag. I just use masking tape. And I'm just going to write live dye over ice, DOI. It'll be right there. I have the sponges that Leaf was nice enough to share with us. I'll give you credit every time, dude. Every time. They're so easy to deal with, and they rinse out in like literally 5 seconds. I was using these little washcloths and they're not tall enough, and these are 5 inches tall. They're perfect. All right, so that's how it's going to, that's how I'm going to, hey, Robin, thank you so much for tuning in. So that's how I'm going to do my stuff without having to make a cardboard barrier, ice barrier. And it can drop in either one of these it wants to. And once I get on my table, I'll have the boxes spread out just a little bit, the containers spread out just a little bit. And these, of course, these bricks keep it from flipping in. I don't need a mess, And I can put both of them on here, so it'll be as controlled as I can get it. You know what I mean? If one flows into this one, they should both flow into that one. So um, let's do I'll go ahead and take my containers off, and I'll go ahead and add my ice. And I might not have. I'll set these over here. I might not have used enough, pulverized enough ice. I'm not 100% on that. Let me move. We started with jade green, and uh, our last color was the bronze. Jade green, teal blue, bronze. Okay, so let me get the pulverized ice. It wasn't too bad, huh? And I might have to pulverize some more ice. More than likely I will, because I do want quite a bit. And maybe I don't. Let's do how we do here. Let's just put it how we need it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a whole bunch at the bottom, so let's just not put a whole bunch at the bottom. And I had dye on my finger and got some ice right there. So let me get that out of there. Wash your fingers off. It was a turquoise color. It was that jade green. I don't need it falling in somewhere it doesn't belong. So I am going to have to pulverize more ice. It's not going to take me just a minute. I'll let that sit there for a second. It'll be all right. Grab my screw. Open this one. I already got it ready for the dye. I already got it ready for the dye under the ice. So I hope you guys had a nice New Year. I did. I went out to my buddy's house and everybody was drinking, and I wasn't. I was the only one that didn't. I don't, never like alcohol. Never really been my thing. It was big in my family prior to me and my brother. Me and my brother seemed to end, and a couple other cousins. It's not just me and my brother. I just hope that's family is what, man. My dad, my brother. My neighbor was like, "Yeah, your dad he's tough." Like, oh, yeah, he was like a firefighter and stuff. And my uncle and my grandfather was too. He's a fighter, a lot of reputation and stuff. He was like, "There's walkers, man." Okay, let me. Boom. Oh, that was loud. It sounded like it cracked kind of loud in my ear. So I need this pulverized good. That way the dye can flow straight down. If I don't, you know what dye over ice does. He likes to spread out, and so any of these chunks I need to take out like that. I don't need that stuff in there. I want the shaved ice. That way this dye will go straight down. I'll put it. I don't want that in there because that was the bottom of the bag where it kind of melts. Because I use my deep freezer, and ice has been in there for a while. And actually, let me put gloves because If man, I'm like out of breath. Wintertime, you can tell. I haven't been doing anything. I don't like go to the gym or anything like that. This is my gym. The space station is what I call it. The dining area. The old space station. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and get this out. Because remember, I don't want or need real thick in there, but I do need it there, not so much there. And I want this dye to fall straight down, and I would like. Let me just toss this in the sink. Walking around, I have a couple gutter in there. Yeah, I went to my buddy's house that has the gutter the gutter business. And got a couple pieces of gutter, probably get 5 more pieces probably. Okay, so that's good. And I didn't throw any soda ash on top. I'll do it over top of the ice. Okay, we'll do that. And I'll do the same with the one that's sitting there that's ready to die under the okay. So let me get this one ready, and let me get I can get these back up on the table. Jade green, teal blue, and bronze. And I'm going to need, eventually I'm going to need more teal blue. I definitely don't have enough. Okay, so what I want to do is I had a total of 5 sequences of dye. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sequences. So maybe I'll use a marker here. I can always wipe it off. Maybe. It's pretty wet. Can you guys even see that? No. Sorry about that. Just sitting here talking away. Doing my own thing. There we go. Does that help? There we go. There's a lag between my iPad, and I'm sure you can see it well. I have my camera set up a little bit. Um, okay, so I want to do 5 sequences, um, and they fall like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of a big one, so we'll make them like that. So that's kind of my goal there. Those are thin. Okay, so let's do. So actually, let me set this up here. And I need to be very careful and not kick my table, and be thoughtful of. Let me put these back down. I'm all over the place today. I need to take a drink of my RC Cola. I'm going to plug RC Cola in. But you guys haven't had RC cola in a while, huh? Okay, so that's how my die is set in the first one. So here's the middle of the thing. So it's easier said than done, you know what I mean? Because the shirt, you can see how it comes in. So I could always see, kind of guess that right there would probably be, I might not get, that's pretty thin though. I mean, that, and I'm going to go cut, about the, about the same. I'm just going to go light over these little corners here, just to, so they're not sitting there all alone. Okay, let me go ahead and grab some teal here. I need to take this electric tape off. Pow. Hello, teal. Let me double check it before I drop that in there. Teal blue, teal blue. Kind of like measure twice, cut once kind of thing. If I'm going to do it, I might as well kind of teach good habits, huh? Okay, so I could possibly, this is not easy to judge, so I could possibly get more colors. I gotta watch that candle. I can feel the heat underneath it. And I don't want to leave any gaps here. I just don't, you know. I'll always go back and fill those in. Okay, so bronze, let me get this. Okay. Teal blue. Okay, Grace. Leaf. I don't know if the same people were in here, but there were a bunch of names. I had no idea. Amy, good evening. I don't know if I said good evening to you or not. When I first came in, there was a bunch of new people. I had no clue. I was waiting for them to start like cussing and stuff. And I can't, I can't be doing that. I almost dropped the F bomb a little bit ago. Can't help it. I didn't. I know we're all adults, but still. I'm going to be cursing on the air. It's not cool. Okay, so remember, I got to kind of keep that light there. I'm going to come back over with that. I think it's teal blue here. Oh, careful, dude. Okay. Teal, then I go back to the jade green. I'm going to do the same thing, kind of not set it right on top of it at first. Kind of let some of the dye, wait till I get to the bottom of the spoon there. Now I can kind of be a little more precise, or at least try to be. That's deep right there. I knew it was going to fall in there. There was a Little chunk of ice right there. Okay, so I'll go a little wider. And always, be careful with your spoon and dragging it over your work. It's easy to do. Very easy to do. Okay. Nope. Teal blue or a jade green, right? Teal blue. That's right. Green is blue and blue is green. You know what I should do is I should be on the other side, Easier to line this stuff up. This is probably not going to be the smartest thing to do. Does help. Switcheroo. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm brand new. Oh, working kind of backwards. I got to make sure that that is right here. So let me get my die right. I started with jade green. Here's teal blue. That looks like teal blue. A little easier. I got to be careful of this back lip. It's easy to not see it. And hit that sucker and die start flying everywhere. How's that looking? I could go up here a little farther. And I must have touched the ice there because now it'll stick to the spoon. Okay, and then now the bronze. I need to go thin with it. Nothing too heavy. To pick Kelly up from work. I don't think I'm going to hit my mark here with my die. I think I'm going to have just a little bit short. It'll probably be like close, but not get all of it. I don't really want to. I just want it to fall naturally if it's. It is easy to work that way. Being a lefty, it is easy to line up my colors. Butt them up against each other. Oh, did you see that? Think I can salvage that with the. Uh, I have these little tiny stir, these little things. You think I can get that out of that ice? Should have not messed with it because we push it over. I don't want to mess with that. That clump's fine, but I mean, heck. Okay, so after bronze was that that took off right there, right over here. See, that's why I wanted to pulverize my ice because. And it's starting to melt a little bit too, so it's going to start spreading out. So let me be quick. No jibber jabber. A little bit more. Yeah, it's starting to spread out a little bit. Jibber jabbering. Quick, 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 quick. There's 3. I'll get 4. So as one little segment short. Okay. Try to keep that from spreading too much. Woo! Yep. 1 full, 1 shy. It's all right. I knew it was going to be hard to judge. We got this. I had a feeling I'd get like one color, and it was pretty close. One color into it. And for just because, we'll go back to this side. Okay, so that's that. Okay, that's the dye over the ice. And I didn't mark it. I should have marked the tag. Usually I'll take a black magic marker and undo it, but I'll do that. Whenever I rinse it out, I'll take a black magic marker and mark the dye over ice. It's not going. We'll know the difference. It's not going to be hard to tell. So that's the dye over ice. I'm going to go ahead and use some um, soda ash because that is a lot of ice. Okay. And I'll do the same. I'll wait and use that over top of the dye over ice. Okay. And I'll move this out of the way for now. And let me get my sponges here. Right there. And right there. That's wanting to cut out a little bit. I think it wants to be spread apart a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my regular ice that I always just use. I don't pulverize it. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do. You know what I mean? But that way I could get. I don't know how much ice I actually do. Just the big bowl over here that looks like a big salad bowl. I can fill it up over there. There's just one kind of big chunk right there. And I'll try to be as quick as I can with this, pouring it over, because doing it the way that I do it can displace the ice. And this thing is like, it is wobbly. Now that I touched that, let me take my gloves off. Okay. And maybe, let me just take it off my table and set it on the floor, and I can get a better pour, because, yeah, I mean, I want good results. Being up that high, waist high, I don't think I can get as fast and good enough spread of the ice on it. So let me just go real quick. There's good. And when I set this up here, you'll see how the ice gets displaced. You can see the turquoise in it. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how she goes. I can just build this up. Now, with doing this technique, it's a lot of ice. I usually, well, the last few that I've done, this is it. I will check the bottom and it'll just be like really good saturation all the way through it. I'm hoping these will be the same. If so, I'm going to have dye sitting on the top. So I'll just add more ice if I need to, you know. But you can see how it's the ice pouring it on there and that much dye. So with so much ice, I'll go ahead and add a skosh of soda ash, and there's just a little tiny bit of blubber salt in there. Some of that got out of it. So give me just a second. I'll put my ice up, and I by the way that looks, that got displaced pretty good. But that turquoise will really show you where some of the other colors won't. You know, that turquoise is easy. It's fast, and you can see it on the edge right here. Um, so again, I'll show you my setup. I'm going to have one here, one brick on that end and one brick on this end. And then I'm going to be as careful as I can and not drop this. Can you imagine? That would suck. And I'll set those up, and, you know, off the screen, I'll be able to spread them apart a little bit. So like that. And then I'll do the same with this one, like that. We'll just set it like that. And then if I'm real careful, I can get it centered in the screen here. All right. So this is my beach look go to. You know what I mean? These three colors, like they represent, and there's no splitting. They don't split very much. The bronze will just a little bit, but the teal and the jade, maybe if they mix, you know. So this is live dye under the ice, DUI, and don't put that there. I don't mix my permanent markers with my um, I don't mix my permanent markers with my washable markers. That's the last thing I want to be doing. Okay. So whenever I go to rinse these out, I'll grab a black magic marker and uh, I'll grab a black magic marker and mark the tag. I'll just black out one of the tag. This was I sold this shirt that I showed you, the example shirt. Thanks, Grace, very much. Um, the results are yes, very much so. And I'll just like uh, split them in half long ways too when we do it, and uh, do die over and die under, and we'll see the results. Hopefully, I got these shirts. I spun these shirts out long enough to where the it's not real blown out. Like I hope I got some good pulls on it. I hope I get really good saturation too up against those lines. It's not easy to get those lines nice and crisp because they're pulled so tight, and you start pushing some of that water out. You know, the dampness, and that water is can be a resistor. So you start pushing that water out by pulling that so hard, um, it can be a resistor. And the fabric alone being pulled so tight, and those little, you know, right next to the sinew, you know, where it's causing like the deep, the, it's almost like a vertical slope. My dye's falling in too, you know. Um, that can be a resistant too, you know. So this is an easy setup for me. I don't have to. I hate dealing with cardboard, man. I despise it. It is nails on a chalkboard for me. And those, I have some racetrack. They're like they bend real nice, and they're just not tall enough. So with this, I can rack it, and I have 5 inches of steepness to, you know, it's deep, 5 inches deep for my ice because my work is probably 2 inches tall. Those pleats were 2 inches tall. So I think this will be a good experiment. I'm glad I did it. At first, it was really weird. I didn't know any of the names except for one, and I forget who it was because I was nervous. I almost ended it for real because I thought for sure they were going to start cussing me. And I was just, you know, just telling them that this is not, because they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm tie dyeing and I'm going to do an experiment. And this will be probably pretty boring for you, you know." And just explained it to them, you know. If you don't know, this would be boring to you. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And you guys are always there to support me. I appreciate it very much. Way, you know, very much. And I think these could help people, you know, maybe down the road that want to learn. You can see how that stuff just it's hard to pour that ice on there and not get displaced, you know. It's very hard. Dye over ice might get crisper lines, you know. It could. I'm not sure, but we'll see. That's what we're doing, huh? So that wasn't too bad. I figure Kelly will be calling here real soon. The last two lives that I've done, as soon as I hit my end, she walks through the door. Actually, I'll just go ahead and take this ice off. I can always replace it. This ice that, at least here, sitting here on top, we don't need that going in there. There's a chunk. There's a chunk. Yeah, we don't need that. And I probably will be done for the night. I might just leave these here and just let it melt right here because it's nice. It's nice and warm right here on my table. Yeah, I can't wait to see it either, Robin. It'll be pretty cool. This shirt that my example is a dye under the ice, or I'm sorry, a dye over the ice, just like this one. Um, I don't think I got as many bands on that shirt. I only had two things of bronze. So this and this shirt is all in the dye placement. So I need to, and I saw Bo Dorsey gave me the idea of just doing, it would be like that. So it's all in the dye placement. So when you open your shirt, it's going to be, everything's going to be working towards the center instead of everything just being at a diagonal. There's so many variances to all this stuff. We all get inspiration from each other. It's really cool. So, well, I'll end it at that. And let me get this towel and I do have some turquoise. Not that jade green. Okay. I'll just throw that in my trash. Actually, I don't need it. Okay. So that should do it. I mean, if I need to in these spots, I'll just add where I need to, and I'll just go by my bronze, and that should tell me because some of the when it's on top, when it hasn't been opened, it's not as easy to tell where you've been, but this bronze will help me. you know that's plenty of dye. That's about the exact same as I used the last time. So I'm anxious to see. So today is, and I have a reveal tomorrow of the hoodie. It's in my batch box right now, and um, I'm anxious to see it too. I hope it's not a fail, man. I hope it comes out really cool. I'll be super stoked if it does. Um, it would honestly, in my eyes, it would be my first fail on a switch on a hoodie. But I haven't done. I just want to use some of this pulverized ice. Uh, I haven't done any regular hoodies. I've always just done buffalo hoodies. So just where I took some of the ice out, I'll add some more. This is that pulverized. So just different ways of doing stuff. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Nothing's wrong or right. This is just the Scott Rad Dives Walker way of doing it. And you're welcome to give it a whirl. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I do these. Now, see how these ends, I got it. It's about level. That'll could probably be a little washed out on those tips. So um, well, it's like basically it would be one corner of the shirt and one, because it's at a diagonal. So one corner of the shirt and one corner of the sleeve. So I can wash my hands off here real quick and I'll end this video. So, again, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm so glad I didn't have to stop it because people start costing. A couple guys did one time. I just blocked it. And I ended it and blocked it or erased what they said, and I just moved on. And that shirt this morning that I put up there, the people that were tuning in this morning, I put I did the Snow Maiden shirt, and then I did another one in the process, and it was at the same time, and it was Mindbender B and A Stormy Sky, and the guy bought both of them. His name's Paul. He's a really nice dude. Uh, I, he was like, "Well, send me the first one, and I'll wear it and see how everything fits." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, I made this at the same time." I was like, "Check this one out," and he was like, "Okay, send that one too. I want that one too." He went and purchased it too. So, which I don't blame you because it's super cool. It's a 4X tall, and 4X tall are not they're not cheap. They're pretty expensive. My friend will drop off 5X shirts to me, and the price tag on them are not cheap. For white blank shirts, they were $40 for a blank shirt. I paid $2 for uh, 2.99 for Gildan heavy cotton, and now I'm paying four because I'm not going to use them anymore. I'd rather just. I mean, it's what's a couple bucks more and get better results using the ultra cotton. I hope and pray that the the ultra cotton gets really nice. I get really nice results with them. I just got a new hot water heater and it is super hot and it's taking. I'm sure it's taken all that sizing off. So okay, well I'm going to go ahead and end this and then I want to get ready for Kelly to call because I have it on Do Not Disturb. I get a lot of text messages. I actually talk to a lot of tie dyers through Messenger, and the Kelly will be like, "Oh man, come on, dude! No wonder you can't get anything done. You know, you're constantly talking to people." But I love it. You know, I love it. I could talk tie dye all day long. You know, it's what I do. So, um, all right. Well, that's why I've been going live so much. I mean, I think why not? I think it's fun, and if people want to tune in and watch, that's cool. If not, that's fine. And you know, I don't mind. That's why I don't advertise it. I just like uh, keeping it low key, and you guys tune in. That's cool with me. You know. So, how about showing us the Yule log shirt? Okay, but I'll have to keep it up over this ice because I don't want to move this stuff. The Yule log shirt's pretty cool. It was the same as the. I want to. This is a. It's a big shirt. So I'm gonna have to. Give me a second. Goodness gracious! I do not want to touch this thing. You can't set that thing down over the. Yeah, I love the flamey looks at the top. Yes, I took a picture. I took pictures of this and set it down. And as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh, dude, I want that for sure." And it's this four. I mean, it's super cool, man. Super cool. If you follow me on, or not just me, if you're in the tie dye groups, I'll post it in the like Belladonna and Process Ice Tie. I need to call Stephanie and see how she's been. It's been a couple weeks since I talked to her, and she was wanting to start doing some lives this winter, and I need to try to be as much of an inspiration to her as I can, you know, because I feel like that's, you know, it used to be therapeutic to her. And just being an adult and life smacked her in the face, and like it does all of us. And she just couldn't produce tie dye anymore. She just wasn't in the space to do it. And I totally understand, you know, who couldn't, who wouldn't, you know. So now she just needs to probably just get in the right headspace to do it, you know. She talks about her reflexes and, you know, will she be able to tie? Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, why wouldn't you? She was a professional, you know. I could quit and for 2 years and come back and probably get the same result. I wouldn't doubt I'd get the same results, you know. Um, yeah, that shirt was cool. Hi, Amy. Yeah. So, see, this is already starting to. This one's already starting to melt and drip. So everything's going to be running that way, huh? Yep, that's cool. Fast results, fast enough to see, So that's cool. McDivers, aren't we? Not McGivers, we're McDivers. We come up with all, everybody has, there's really no like, I've been thinking about making uh, like a rack system, I guess, for my inclines. So I could put, just like this, where I could put two projects together and to have them both at raise at the same level, just like jack, not jack system, but tiered. So I've been thinking about doing that, making something like that, just so it's not as McDiverish, you know. But I'm glad to see my videos have worked today and last. Or wait, was it today that? No, one of my videos quit working right at the end, and all there was video, audio, and there was no video. And it was video on my phone, but on my iPad it wasn't showing any video. So, all right, well, I'm go ahead and let you go. I've been sitting here rambling on, like I always do. I'm lonely. No, I'm not really, but so have a good night. If you go out tonight, you're a champ. That's all I can say. you know, uh, I felt like most people probably did that last night, but hey, maybe this is your New Year's or your birthday. And if it is, happy birthday. And be careful when you go out. Call an Uber or a Lyft or hail a cab, you know. So thanks again for tuning in. Tonight is, what is tonight? Wednesday? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So maybe Sunday, or it's 3 days. Saturday night, yeah, that'd be cool. We could go live again and um, see the reveals of this. Tomorrow night, I'll do the reveal of the sweatshirt. So maybe in between, we'll do another experiment. And a lady was nice enough to tag me this morning in the Process of Ice Dyeing group, and she had all kinds of experiments. So I definitely want to do some and see how stuff turns out. One was about tin foil. I think another lady added like tin foil, using tin foil up underneath the shirt and then scrunching it, and it kind of helps everything. She said you get a lot crisper scrunches. So we could try that. Do a side by side of that. That's pretty quick, unless I'm going to sit there and ramble on. I'll still sit there and ramble. It could take 5 minutes. It'd still be a 25, 30-minute video. You know, but that's fine. Um, People will fast forward through it. I'm cool with that. So thanks for tuning in, and be careful. And I'll throw some links on the description uh, for um, for the for Boredom with Jen, and there was something else. I forget what it was, but um, if I'll throw some links in for any of the tools that I might use. Not every time, but just for that video. All right, I use Boredom with Jen's tools a lot, so um, I need to tag her as much as I can. Just because she's a tie dyer too, and that's how they come up with the tools that we use. You know. All right, so have a good night, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow about 7 o'clock. I'll try to do a 7 o'clock. Kelly's off, so I can't be stealing. I can't make it real long because I'll be stealing the internet, so it'll be pretty short. Hopefully, it's really cool. That's the goal, isn't it? Because, yeah, I'll shut up. Have a good night. Thanks again for tuning in. All right. Peace.